Courtesy. It is running thin very, very much in public areas these days. If you guys are subscribed to my main channel, you should know that I managed to catch Iron Man 2 in the past couple weeks. I can't remember. I think it was last Sunday. I managed to watch Iron Man 2, and overall, it was a great movie. Really loved it. Check out my review if you wish. But I'm here to talk about what you should do and not do in the theater. And I'm going to use one prime example here. When I went to go see Iron Man 2, there was this Asian lady and either her daughter or her granddaughter sitting next to her. And I kid you not, every time that Iron Man did something flashy with his suit, or he said something that made sense, or War Machine popped up, or we got to the climax, or there was a CGI shot on screen, every time something like that happened on screen, this lady kept reacting to it. She reacted to everything that happened in the movie, whether it be effects wise or emotional. But she just kept going, ooh, ah, ee, and I, and she kept talking to her daughter in this most likely either Japanese or Chinese language. I could tell, but she kept talking in this language, and I wanted to turn around and say, hey, be quiet. But the daughter, I looked behind, and the daughter had this face. You know how you could tell by a face that they're going to be that type of person? Well, I looked at her face, and she looked that type of person that if you were to tell her to be quiet, she will make noise even louder, which pisses the fuck out of me incredibly. This has got to be one of the most evilest and obnoxious people on earth. When you tell them to be quiet, and in response, they make louder noise. Hey, that's my dad. So I found it kind of useless to simply turn around and tell her to be quiet because they're just going to make more noise, judging by the way they looked. So I'm not trying to come off as offensive here, but don't bring any... I highly recommend you to not bring any old foreign people that are not used to these kinds of movies. You know, those people that, you know, they still live as if it was in the 50s or 60s with old-fashioned movies, and now we got all these big flashy movies with special effects and all that crazy stuff, and they could go like, oh my gosh, and we have these movies with convoluted plots in which they have the need to turn around and ask what's going on right in the middle of the movie. You know, either don't bring them at all, or bring them and say, hey, this is gonna have the plot for this movie is very convoluted. I highly recommend you to save your questions towards the end of the movie. So I want to know from you guys, what was the worst theater experience you've ever had? Post in the comments below. What do you think was probably the worst experience that you had in a movie theater, where whether it be someone talking too loud, or playing on their cell phone, or making noises from their cell phone, or I think probably one of the worst of all, a little kid who wouldn't stop twitching and either kept running down up and down the theater, up to the screen and back to the back door, or kept fidgeting and wouldn't sit still, and he kept kicking you in the back of the seat, and kept kicking the seat that you happen to be sitting in, which I might include I've had my share experiences with. I mean, these days it feels like you have to wait about a month or so after everybody has gone seen the movie for you to go see the movie in peace. Either that or catch the matinee showing, in which nobody's going to show up, which has to be really, really early, like at 9 or 10 in the morning. And it gets even worse. Parents bringing their little kids that get scared easily to R-rated movies. I rest my case.